Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
Now entering the game for Philly Press Box Radio, Bill Furman and Jim Chet Chesko.
It's Tuesday, Red October 10th, 2023. Welcome to the Philly Press Box Radio Roundtable, brought to you by the Irish Rover Station House in Langhorne, PA. Allstate Insurance in Westchester, PA. Cavs, Philly Tailgates, and the Edge of Philly Sports Network. I'm Bill Furman. I'll be your host tonight, along with my partner, Jim Chet Chesko. Chet, the Phillies let one slip away last night. Oh, my goodness. A heartbreaker, but they left Atlanta 1-1, and that's where we really wanted to be. We'll certainly talk about that. The Eagles are 5-0 after taking care of the Rams in L.A. Flyers season opens Thursday night with a full roster of youngsters. They are going to be fun to watch. We'll talk more about that. And Sixers camp is underway as well. Best time of the year when all four teams are in action, so let's go. There's plenty to talk about in Philly sports.
Yeah, terrific time for sure, Bill. But, you know, as good as it is, it would have been doubly great had the Phillies not blown that 4-0 lead in Game 2. How sweet would it have been to come back up 2-0 instead of even? Oh, well.
Oh, well, you got to play all 9 innings, all 60 minutes, whatever sport you want to use, you got to play them all, and they sure let that one get away. But, hey, we have a couple great guests tonight making return visits to Philly Press Box Radio. First in Flyers, 2-time Stanley Cup champion Bob Hound. Kelly's going to join us, and the voice of the Sixers, Kate Scott's going to join us a little later.
Yeah, this is Hound's 6th visit to our show and the 2nd for Kate. The Flyers get things going Thursday night. The Sixers on the 26th of this month. So let's drop the puck with the hockey guy right now, Bill.
Let's do it. Can't wait. Let's welcome the Hound, Bob Kelly, back to Philly Press Box Radio. Hound, welcome.
Hey, guys. Thanks very much for having me on. I appreciate that.
Well, Bob, great to see you again. As you're well aware, this is the 50th anniversary of the 1973-74 Flyers team, which, of course, won the first of those back-to-back Stanley Cups. We'll talk about that in a bit. But, hey, what do you know about the current Flyers? New management, lots of young players. What should we expect?
Well, you know, I've been around Danny. Danny probably didn't get enough credit right at the start there, but, you know, he went up and became the general manager for the Maine Mariners up there on a regular basis, and did a heck of a job up there. Comcast sent him to the Wharton School of Business, so he got well prepared for what he was getting into. And you know, you got a guy like Jonesy out there. He knows everybody. You know, he's been around for many, many years out here broadcasting and doing. He knows all the coaches. He knows everybody that's out there. He knows whether you shoot right or left when you're going down the ice. I mean, he's really into it and what he's doing. And you know, he bounced around a little bit there, but, you know, we had choice between him and I think Eddie Olczyk, and the right choice was Keith Jones. Eddie Olczyk's a tremendous person, went through some battles there and everything, but Jonesy and Danny get along great, and, you know, the incorporation of having Torts there with what he brings, the new mentality that he's trying to instill and how to play as a team and be part of a team. So I think it's a great show, and we have a new leader at the top there, Dan Helferty, new CEO for Comcast and taking over the Flyers there. So we really have some great people. The building's in tremendous shape. All of our buildings around here, the one, you know, obviously the Link and where the Phillies are. And it's just, you know, it's a great time to be here in Philly. I see things exploding on the surface.
Well, Bob, John Tortorella, known as quite the taskmaster, as a coach, but he's loaded this roster with young energy. Are you excited about that? And do you feel it in the building and feel it around the practice facilities?
Yeah, you know, I don't spend much time in there because my job is out in the community with people and doing things like that. But you know, Tort's been around a long time. You're not going to pull anything over on him. I mean, he's a good motivator, and he'll motivate through discipline or motivate. I mean, he's not shy about what he tells you on that. And I think the guys looked up to him. I don't think a lot of the guys probably knew what to expect the way he runs a training camp. But, it's grueling. He puts it through there, and he wants to see the best person, make the team. And it means beating somebody out. You're a little bit better. I mean, he tells it like it is. He doesn't mince his words whatsoever. And I said he's surrounded with good assistants there as well, too. So, he's there to get the job done. And, I think he's got 3 more years, left on his contract. So he's good.
No superstars on this team, certainly, but Travis Konechny is coming off a career best 31 goal season. Do you think he still has more upside?
Yeah, I do. I think his confidence level is really high. He had a great year last year. You got young Farabee there. The big thing to me is seeing how Coots and Atkinson respond coming back. There to me is a key until you get hit. But, I think Coots has played well right now. The rust is starting to come off. Brinks over there or Forrester, whichever one they decide to flip-flop on that line. So, I mean, we've got some good young talent. I like the idea of bringing in Stahl. He's kind of going to be the gentleman in the locker room with the guys and help guide these kids. They have brand new locker facilities, brand new everything. The whole Wells Fargo down the bottom has all been changed, and it's really exciting for everybody. I mean, you're proud to come in there. You're proud to want to go on there. You're proud when you can put that jersey on and go out and get the job done. And, I think the guys have stepped up a little bit. Like I said, I like Stahl out there a little bit. Rasmus, he's hurt, so supposedly, so he could be back. It could be in or out there. But, Travis has done a great job representing himself. And, the idea is not, what you accomplish, but you want to be the best that you can be. So, you just don't take a day off. You don't take a shift off. I mean, it doesn't get it done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you could talk Flyers without talking Carter Hart. He seems like he's been around kind of forever by now, but I guess he's still really a young guy. Is it time that Carter Hart, kind of turns the corner and really, now that hopefully he's got a little better defense in front of him, that this is the year?
Well, I think that was the whole thing with him is his confidence got shattered there a little bit. You hit some defensive laps in front of him, so all the goals weren't his problem. But, you hold yourself to a higher standard. And, he's got 2 guys pushing him. Aronson there, I think that's how you say his name. He's probably pushing, probably be the backup to get started here. But, there's competition out there. And we have some more people in the system there. So we have plenty of options to go, and it's just getting the best, hopefully you have the best, and hopefully you get everybody to be on the same page.
Hey, you mentioned Sean Couturier being back. I think he's still just 30 years old. So other than the injury, he's still kind of in his prime. How nice is it to have him back on the ice, hopefully pretty healthy?
Yeah, well, Stahl's 36, so he's a little bit older, but Coots is a good kid. I ran into him in the hallway there prior to the end of the season there, and he's focusing. He's worked out hard. He's in tremendous shape out there, and just have to make sure that he can take any blows that come to him behind there. But he's really an outstanding. He gives a lot of inspiration and guidance and leadership in that locker room, which is what was sorely needed. He'll speak up. Stahl will speak up. Konechny has the right to speak up. He had the most goals last year, so it's an exciting time in Philly.
Well, speaking of Stahl, he's basically surrounded by a youth group back there on that blue line. Are they really going to depend on him more for minutes or more for leadership or both?
Combination of both. I mean, he's got to bring his leadership in the locker room. He's got to bring his leadership on the ice. I like Hathaway, gets his nose dirty, sticks his, he's not afraid of anybody in there. Adds another element to the defense that we really didn't have before. So I think again, it's just getting everybody to be on the same page, play the way Torts wants you to play, and, listen to the coaches.
Bob, I don't know how good your eyes are, but if I put up the roster there, any other guys that you're really excited to watch and see how they're going to develop this season?
Yeah, I think my eyes are not that good, but I think they're all right. You got, Cam York is somebody to look at. I think Sanheim's come back with a new attitude, put some weight on and all that. He says Stahl bring that leadership in there. Rasmussen, when he comes back, will be good. So I think we're all right in there.
And Owen Tippett, as far as the forwards, he had a pretty good year last year.
Yeah, he had 34 goals. So I think that's what he had anyways, was 34 goals. But, yeah, he's a big guy. I mean, him and McEwen kind of battled around there a little bit. McEwen got sent down, but he got his stuff together, came back after 2 games. I think it was him. So there's some guys out there that wanted to prove themselves, and they worked harder than some of the other guys that, went down to Lehigh.
Yep.
Yeah, the one I'm really interested in seeing is Morgan Frost. He came up as a crazy goal scorer through junior hockey, but really hasn't shown that yet. Shown a few flashes along the way, and now it sounds like he's going to start out as a third liner. I'm really interested to see if he takes the next step up.
Yeah, he's a gun guy. He's been fun to watch in the exhibition games here, and I think they got him online with Atkinson and Tippett. At least that's what they had on Saturday. So, I mean, things change around from day to day. So, I mean, until you're actually ready to start playing, you don't really know who's going to be who. I'm sure, Torch is still tinkering with it, but in there. But, yeah, I think we got some good young kids to watch there. I think they really moved the puck well. I thought last year, even though we weren't winning the games, the guys played whistle to whistle. They moved that puck pretty quick back and forth to each other. They're getting a feel for each other. Like I said, I couldn't find anything to really want to be negative on until we get rolling there and see how the other teams look.
Yeah, there's like low expectations nationally. So, any kind of positives will be good. It'll be, if they can threaten to make the playoffs, it'll be exciting. And I'm looking forward to it. I really am. But Bob, as noted, it is the 50th anniversary of that first Flyers Cup season. We must be getting old. I don't know. But I'm going to put up a picture here of the Flyers back in the 1974-75 era. And who's that guy with the sideburns right there?
It was me. They've gone.
What do you remember about that season, though? Did you guys know, back in October, November of 1973 that you were a legitimate cup contender?
You know what? We really were pretty grounded with Freddie Sherrill there. We were pretty grounded, and everybody was bought into Clarkie. Clarkie was definitely the leader in the locker room. Leader on the ice, first out, first in. And, we had hard workers, Billy. Nobody came in and kind of sloughed it. I mean, we had the Watson boys there, different guys in and out. But, Keith Allen knew what he was doing when he was bringing in players and what their job was. I mean, you understood what your role was. So it was funny. I'll tell you a story about being in the locker room, and we get beaten there. So all of a sudden, Ed Snyder comes in, and he bends down. He says, "So what went wrong? What happened? What went wrong?" And he gives you that stare, the Snyder stare, right? And I go, "Ed, why are you asking me?" I said, "I play 3 shifts a game for crying out loud. Ask Clarkie." He was sitting beside me there. Ask Clarkie what went wrong. I don't know what went wrong. But, the team had a lot of character. I mean, we had the Hillmans. We had Eddie Van Imp. I mean, we had guys that could lean on and could play the game. Everybody knew the role out there. 20 guys go on the ice, 20 guys are coming off the ice. And that's just the way we played out there. And we had tremendous rivalry. I mean, I think our 35-game unbeaten streak is going to be a hard one for somebody to beat as well, too, who's in the lineup there. But, at the end of the day, it's all about the team, and it's all about the fans. And, you don't want to get booed in your own building. You don't want to make a fool of yourself out there. You just go out and play the game hard. And when people came into our building, they knew they were in for a battle.
Bob, so many of you guys from that team and through the years still live in the Philadelphia area, still work for the Flyers in a lot of cases like you do. Is that normal, or is there a real friendship, the bond that came between you guys that you just continue to be friends? Here we are 50 years later.
Well, I think as we were talking a little bit earlier, Brad Marsh is the president of the alumni there, and we do tremendous amount of functions out there. Brad started Philadelphia Warriors. We're now 4 teams strong. They just came back from Denver the other day. And, it's a thing where, everybody has an idea of working for a job or whatever. I was in private business for a while after I retired. So I had my own businesses and stuff like that, which was good. And this just gave me a chance to get back. I got a call from Mr. Snyder one day, and he says, "Hey, I want to see you in the building." So I went and met him, and then, a guy named Dave Koski was there as well too, and he actually is the one who hired me. And he said World Be Free was out on the court as well. So he goes, I want to create a position for the Flyers like World Be Free is for the Sixers. So That's when I got to meet World out there and know a super guy he is. And it just kind of all came together. And I'm not quite ready to shut down yet, but I'm getting pretty close. I'm up there at 73 years old, so it's getting there. But you still go around. We do the Learn to Play. We still do all the golf outings. Our alumni guys, Brad keeps everybody in tune with everybody. They get updated letters of what's going on with us, where we're at. If you went on to flyersalumni.net, you would see everything that that we do out there. One of the biggest projects we have is Every Child Deserves a Bike. We've given away 30 bikes. They get made in Winnipeg. There's a little history there, and they all run between $5,000 and $8,000. They're specialty bikes for the kids, so they may not have complete control of a lot of parts of their body, and this way they can use their hands if they can't use their legs. And it's really cool when you see the kids. We always have them at our golf outings. We give them a bike. They don't know what to get, and then they just ride down the middle and of everybody at the golf outing. So it's pretty cool when you do stuff like that and you can walk away and you can feel good.
Yeah, the Flyers are just terrific with all that charity stuff. They're to be commended for that, certainly. Well, because it's the 50th anniversary of that first cup, is the organization doing anything special to commemorate that?
Well, I think the whole weekend is going to be special. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Rumor has it. What's that?
Is that in January?
Yes. January the 17th, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. So I believe that the old rivalry, the Boston Bruins, are coming to town, obviously for the Saturday game, but I think their alumni is coming into town to probably take on some of our guys too. But I think Joe Watson's 80 years old. I think he wants to play. I said, Joe, nobody wants to see an 80-year-old man skate down the ice. So he's good for going out and doing all that stuff. I mean, he's first one in line. But we have a lot of young guys in the system there that are retired and live in the area that can come in and play. So they don't totally need to see a bunch of old guys skating around. It's just my opinion.
Gotcha.
but us old guys like to watch you old guys because you were young when we were young.
Yeah, black and white TVs with bunny ears on them, and we had no helmets on.
Peter Puck flying around.
Yeah, that's for sure. But you know what? I wouldn't trade my era, and don't take it the wrong way. I would never trade my era for a different era. Obviously, I could never play in the current eras, but it's just something that the bonding, the team to take you under the wing, and then you go out there to battle everybody. I mean, it's just something to be part of. That I love playing against the original 6 teams. I idolize all those guys. My first 3 games was against the Montreal Canadiens in Montreal, and then I went back to play Detroit. So you're on the ice with Gordie Howe, Vecchio, Bergman, all those guys, and then the Boston Bruins came in on the Thursday night. That was my 3rd game I played there. And then
wow.
I got to stick around. So somebody liked me. I don't know who, but somebody liked me.
That's fantastic. So looking forward to that. Sure. I have a final question for you, Hound. The Ed Snyder Hockey Foundation, you guys are also a great part of that as well. Tell us a little bit about that and what's going on with that.
Ed's left a tremendous legacy behind in Philly there. He's on a huge mural in South Philly there where he should be. I think we have 6 rinks that are under Snyder Hockey right now. The Snyder kids, I mean, I know Sean Couturier is doing a lot with them up there when he can there. They put besides the ice sheet they have there, they also have a rink out back there. So they have, like I said, 6 rinks, plenty of ice time for them. It's really well run. It's got a great administrative staff there. And, they're turning out great model citizens coming from the areas that they're coming from. And, it all started with Ed Snyder, his vision, what he wanted there. We've done some stuff with Lindy Snyder. She's been part of the alumni stuff that we keep her involved in and that. So it's been great. So we're still working hard, raising money and trying to make a difference with the kids.
Bob, this has been great. Thanks for doing it. And I hope it's a fun season, and we're going to learn a lot about this team and the management. And I'm looking forward to it. Yeah,
I think it's going to be good for everybody. I know the city's pumped up, and with what's going on right now with the Eagles and the Phillies, the Sixers are getting ready to step up. I mean, there's so much going on that's positive for everybody. So we're happy that things are progressing the way hopefully they should.
Yep.
Hey, Hound, can you see the note we have up on the screen there? It was fun watching Bob Kelly play. It was like a human pinball smashing into the opponents.
That was controlled aggression.
We're out of control at sometimes, right?
Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't change my style. I had a blast with our guys. That era, to me, was a blast. It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Well, Hal, we appreciate you joining us as always, and let's do it again.
Yeah, thank you very much. Anytime, you know that. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Bob.
All right.
Take care.
Thanks. Hey, Chet, we've reached fall. Gas prices have stayed up. Winter's coming. Oh, my goodness. Who knows what's going to happen there? It's time for you to save some money with Allstate's pay-as-you-go auto insurance.
That's right, Bill. Allstate's pay-as-you-go auto insurance puts you in control. You only pay for the miles you drive. With the same full coverage that a traditional policy offers, pay-per-mile insurance gives customers greater control of their insurance costs. See how much you can save with pay-per-mile car insurance by calling your local agent. In Westchester, Pennsylvania, that's Dave Lavoie. And by the way, in addition to auto insurance, Dave's Allstate office also offers home and renters insurance, life insurance, business insurance, and much, much more. Allstate in Westchester. Call Dave Lavoie at 610-430-0700. Again, 610-430-0700.
Well, hey, Chet, with all these sports going on at one time, what's going on over at the Irish Rover Station House? They got to be getting after it.
Yeah, well, for one thing, you can watch all of the Phillies postseason games on Irish Rover's many, many TVs. Wednesday evenings at the Rover, Quizzo night. They also have, I think, a prime rib special this Wednesday. So that's tomorrow if you're watching it tonight on Tuesday. Tomorrow, prime rib night at the Irish Rover. On the weekends, they have live music on Saturdays. Of course, they have killer burgers on Thursdays, dinner specials Thursday through Sunday. There's this week's pulled pork quesadilla. That sounds good. And a Cuban style burger as one of the killer burgers. That is pretty cool. They have a paint and sip event coming up later this month. That is on Tuesday, October 24th. And we told you about this last week, the Halloween party at the Irish Rover, Saturday, the 28th, drink and appetizer specials, spooky cocktails, and prizes for the best costumes. What a great month of events at the Irish Rover, which is located on Bellevue Avenue in Langhorne. You can, of course, get all the details on their website, that being IrishRoverStationHouse.com.
Hi, this is Ray Dinger, and it is always fun to talk sports with these two guys, Bill and Chet, on Philly Press Box Radio.
Well, Chet, let's talk Phillies. Oh, my goodness. When you leave so many guys on base, you make a sloppy play like Turner did to let the first run in. You hit a batter, just a lot of bad things. And it turned out bad. With that said, the Harper getting thrown out on the double play really has me kind of baffled a little bit. I mean, it was a bad play because he was out, but he crossed the line between being aggressive and being not smart. And unfortunately it got him. Otherwise that ball hits anywhere else, he scores from first to tie the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we get with Bryce Harper, though. We love it when, last week he runs through the stop sign and scores because he was aggressive, but because he got caught in a double play last night, we were criticizing him. That's just the way it is. But yeah, he should have stopped at second. That way, he probably could have still scored had the ball not been caught. And at the worst, he's going to be on third base and still only one out. Of course, the ball is caught. And if he stopped at second, he would have been easily able to make it back to first. So, yeah, we love Bryce Harper for the aggressiveness, but sometimes it gets him. And that was a bad spot to be caught in. Otherwise, the Phillies just left too many guys on base. 11 runners left on base?
Yeah, 10 of them were early. 10 were in the first 4 innings.
Yeah. And, Wheeler was just sailing along, no hitter through 5. He was up 4-1. And then the wheels kind of came off Wheeler. He didn't really lose control or anything. He gave up the one hit and then struck out the next guy. And then all of a sudden the 2-run homer, and it's 4-3. And we know what happened after that. Yeah.
And as Patrick Gennard says here, it's a blame on Thompson. There's a lot of that going around today. And I'll tell you what, I have a mixed opinion about that too. We've been on him all along about going to the bullpen too early for the whole entire season. Yeah. He goes one extra go with Wheeler, who was just dealing. I mean, he was dealing, and it blows up in his face. And, and the same happened again the next inning with Alvarado. He's dealing. Yep. And they went with Hoffman, who's been their guy. He's been a reliable guy for them. and he didn't get the job done. So Thompson's certainly taken heat. I'm not the biggest Thompson fan as it is, but I don't know that I can blame him for pulling him at that point.
Yeah, I'm with you. He did seem like he was starting to tire just a bit. I mean, he had 8 strikeouts of the first 9 outs he got. Then the strikeouts weren't coming quite as much. The fastball had slowed to like 94 or whatever. It had reached, I think, 98. So, there were signs. And even apparently we found out after the game that Wheeler said he wanted to stay in, but you might want to, get somebody up, basically. So I think he knew he was near the end, and it bit him in the butt. But hey, as you said, it's 1-1 now, which is what we wanted last Thursday before this all started. So if you take care of business at home and you got Aaron Nola going, who was so darn good last week, you should be able to win Game 3.
Absolutely. And, the Philly fans are going to do their thing, Jet. It is going to be bedlam at the bank come tomorrow night at 5 o'clock. Absolutely. And
don't let the Braves score first. Keep the Braves off the board the first couple innings and put some runs up, as the Phillies.
Well, right. And and that's what we wanted last night, and we got it. We got 4 of them, Here, I'm going to leave this one for you. Here you go. Robert S. Why do they wear mitts on their hand when they are on base?
So when they slide, they don't hurt their little fingers.
And they don't get their fingers stepped on individually or break a finger. They keep them in the little mitt.
My buddy Denny texted me about that during the game last night about the mitts. He said, man, in the old days, guys were guys and they didn't need those stinking mitts. But hey, It's a different age.
Hey, I'm going to throw this one up there too. Brian makes a good point. Concern is Nola giving up the long ball. We haven't seen that the last few outings. He's been fantastic. I guess when you lead the league in home run balls, you have to be concerned. I didn't see that. I took it back off. Which Nola will we get tomorrow, Mr. Freeze or Mr. Softy? What do you think?
The last 3 times out. So they said he made some little tweaks, and hopefully he'll be good again. He knows how big this game is, and I don't think he's going to crack under pressure. So hopefully he's got things under control again, and they need him more than ever. This is a huge start, not just for the Phillies, but for Aaron Nola, for his future.
Yeah. Well, and all Nola aside, they got to hit the ball. They got to score runs. They're probably not going to win if they score 3-4 runs. They're going to need to put runs on the board because Atlanta's going to put runs on the board because they're good. They're a good club. So you better plan on coming out and being aggressive and swinging the bats and scoring runs.
And by the way, for people who are watching us live on Tuesday night, we're doing our show on Tuesday night because the Phillies Wednesday game is at 5:07. So that's why we moved it up one day. But we are on a couple of platforms, but Edge of Philly Sports, the network that we're part of, will rebroadcast our show at 3 p.m. across several other channels. So, their Twitter and their Facebook page and their YouTube channel as well. So
you can watch us again.
You can watch us again. You can watch us on repeat if you want. We're worth it, darn it.
There you go. There you go. Hey, let's jump over talk Eagles. They continue to roll with a pretty dominating 23-14 win on the road in L.A. I think we probably would have been happy with a few more touchdowns and a few less field goals, but still a real nice, solid win on the road in L.A.
They're 5-0, so what are we complaining about this week?
Right, right.
The fans are always complaining about something.
Yeah, well, and I think pretty obvious. Jason Kelce showed us it was pretty obvious on the sidelines that there's a lot of frustration about not scoring in the red zone and kicking field goals and not touchdowns. So that's not just the fans seeing it. The players are certainly feeling it as well.
Well, that is one of the major concerns so far this season is their red zone inefficiency. They've got to do better. Last year, they were very good at it. This year, not so good. Thank God they have Jake Elliott, who's been, acting like an all-pro. He's been just great kicking all those field goals. I think I saw something the other day. Jake Elliott has more points this season than the New York Giants in total.
Wow. Hey, my goodness. Well, interesting in that game to me is the running game was a little slow getting going with Swift. but they turned it to Jalen Hurts and had him running the ball probably a little more than we would like to see. Then they finally got it going a little bit. And I heard a quote that I didn't much like: "Throw to win, throw to get the lead, run to win." I don't know. I don't know about all that. Just smack them in the mouth.
Yeah. I don't know.
So,
this week, the New York Jets, whom the Eagles have never, ever lost to,
and they won't this week either.
I don't think so. Now, had Aaron Rodgers been there and healthy, it could have been interesting, but
no.
The Jets have played some teams well this year. I think that they're coming off a win this past weekend, right? So they got a couple of wins.
Well, they beat Denver.
Yeah, Denver. Oh, man. Sean Payton may be regretting his decision, although he's getting paid. So.
All right. Yeah. Well, it'll be, we're 5 games in and we're 2 games up, Chet. That's a good place to be.
It is. You and I picked the Cowboys to beat San Francisco the other night. We'll talk about that when we get to our picks. That didn't work out so well. But, hey, as you said, it does mean the Phillies have a 2-game lead in the NFC East. And I don't think a lot of people are taking the Cowboys quite so seriously anymore.
Yeah, well, and those Dallas fans are coming undone down there. And they've turned on their quarterback now, too. They've turned on their coach. They've turned on their quarterback. There are a couple losses from that whole thing blowing up down there.
Yeah. And I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, me too. Hey, Jalen Carter, what do you think?
Jalen Carter is looking like an all-pro as a rookie. So we're not just talking about defensive rookie of the year. We're talking about maybe all-pro in his first year. He's been great.
He really has.
And Hassan Reddick now starting to pick things up, too, with a couple of sacks this week.
Right. And it looks like Nakobe Dean might be back for this week as well in New York. So things are only going to get better. This team's going to get better. Going to hit a tough patch in the schedule here shortly, but I think they're up for it.
Well, the Miami game a week from Sunday should be interesting. That'll be a good test for both teams, actually. So we'll see what each of those teams is made of.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to that, but got to get this one. Let's get 6-0, and then we'll get after the Dolphins.
You know it.
All right. Well, hey, let's give a shout out to all the shows at the Edge of Philly Sports Network this week. The gang has all the bases covered, as always. You can catch all the action on www.eopsports.com, as well as Edge of Philly Sports on YouTube. You can also find our show on Philly Press Box Radio YouTube channel. Hit us up by subscribe, follow, and like buttons. As always, share with your family and friends. As you can see, Eagles pregame, halftime, postgame, all kinds of analysis all the way through. And all week long, we've got shows talking pretty much everything.
Yeah, and as we noted, our show will be rebroadcast on the Edge of Philly Sports Network Wednesday at 3 p.m. So, yeah, watch us again. Why not? And if you do something crazy and you need a lawyer, we got you covered.
All right, guys, if you're a Philly sports fan and you want to travel with your favorite team, then travel with the best. Go to phillysportstrips.com. They have self-travel packages and full travel packages available with round-trip flights from the Philadelphia airport. Packages include direct flights, 4-night stays, all-inclusive tailgate parties, lower-level group tickets. Whatever you want, you got it with phillysportstrips.com. If you want to travel to an upcoming Phillies game, make sure you check out Philly Sports Trips. And do not forget, Philly Sports Trips has all the away trips for the Eagles' upcoming 2023 season. Jump on it now, because you do not want to lose out on all these great opportunities. Go to phillysportstrips.com.
And as for that attorney help that you might need,
all right, guys, let's talk about Cherry Law Firm. If you get hurt at work in a motor vehicle accident, personal injury, or affected by criminal law, you got to call David R. Cherry of the Cherry Firm. Call 610-565-0300 or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Let David R. Cherry fight for your rights. Again, that number is 610-565-0300. That's 610-565-0300 or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Let David R. Cherry fight for your right.
Well, hey, Chet, since you pushed the wrong button and you hit Philly Sports Trips, let's go ahead and push the button and talk about Bob Cavanaugh and the gang at Cavs Philly Tailgates.
Get it all out of there right now. Okay, Bob Cavanaugh, Cav and Company. Have to shift my notes around. Cavs Philly Tailgates has been cooking up terrific catering work for more than 30 years now. He's known for his tailgate parties, that Bob Kavanaugh. Cavs is a 3-time winner of Philly Tailgates, Jack Daniels Great American Tailgate Party Contest, and a past winner of the Philly Daily News Tailgate Award. Cavs also does corporate events and parties, you name it. And if you check the website, you'll see that they have a lot of things coming up, and they've got all of the Eagles games, including the 22nd game that we just mentioned, when they host the Dolphins. That is a Sunday night game. And then November 5th, the Eagles and Cowboys going at it. The tailgates being held outside Live Casino. Order your tickets via the website, phillytailgates.com. Check the site. And if you have questions, you can email them at cavscatering@verizon.net. Cavs Philly Tailgates is the way to go.
Absolutely. Well, hey, Chet, the Sixers have started their preseason games. Plenty of questions. And you visited with the voice of the Sixers, Kate Scott, just today to get all the answers to the Sixers questions.
I did. And right as we get ready to do that, I'm going to download that interview for us. And let me tell you, Kate is one of my favorite people in the entire world because she's just so great to talk to. And I'm really, really, really looking forward to this Sixers season, having talked to her now. I wasn't quite looking forward to it as much, but her enthusiasm, it just gets you going. And I hope
we're going to have to see if she could sell me, because I'm not on board right at the moment.
I know. I understand that, but hey, here we go.
This would be a heck of a win for the Sixers. Tyrese.
Very happy to talk with Sixers hoops analyst or television play-by-play voice, Kate Scott. Kate, it is so wonderful to see you once again. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, and it's really good to see Tyrese Maxey draining threes. Yeah. I mean, got to see him earlier today, cup practice over in Camden, and really looking forward to year 4 of Tyrese Maxey. But great to be back with you, Chet.
Hope there's a lot more of that for sure. I know you had a very busy off season. We will talk about that in just a bit, but another Sixers season is fast approaching, a season that's starting with a little bit of drama in addition to a new head coach. Talking, of course, about James Harden. He is practicing with the team. That's good. Will he be on the court when the season begins, October 26th?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I know this is only year 3 for me, Chet, but I'm starting to think that drama and Philly, or just, storylines that other people are paying attention to, is just going to be par for the course. That's my thought. See, James is like, what's new? Come on, this is just another season of Kate and Philly. But I think you touched on the most important thing right now. I don't know. None of us have any idea if James is going to be here for the start of the season. If he is, how long he'll be here during the season. But the important thing is that he came to training camp, that he was a participant in training camp. I mentioned I was at practice earlier today. He was at practice running through everything. So the fact that he's here, despite whatever is going on behind the scenes, and that he is locked in and a part of things and not causing a disruption as some folks expected he might because of things that were said during the offseason, because of things that have happened in the past. So that's really good for me to see, because I think the most interesting part of this, I know this is a business, and I know that anything can happen in pro sports, but I just keep coming back to it. I was at every practice and shoot around I could be last year, and he and the guys get along. Like, they were having a really good time, and that is not always the case in pro sports. I know you got your Philly stuff behind you. I mean, we see it with the Phillies, we see it with the Birds. Hopefully we're going to see it with the Flyers, we see it with the Union, but I'm of the mind that stuff matters, that you want to play that much harder for guys that you really enjoy being around. And the guys really enjoy being around James. So not sure what's going to happen, but hope that whatever does, that it goes well for him and the Sixers.
Well, we know everybody loves to be around Tyrese Maxey, who we saw right at the top. And boy, he has progressed year after year. A lot of folks, though, wonder if he can be a true point guard if needed, if there is no James Harden. So I'll ask you, Kate, is Tyrese ready to take yet another big step if called upon?
Yeah, I think, Chet, that he is going to be. I mean, we saw last year that he looked like he'd put on a little more strength, a little more muscle from year 2 going into year 3. And it looks like the same thing has happened this offseason, now coming into year 4. And that was the challenge that Nick Nurse issued to him when he was hired back before the offseason really started. He said, yeah, Tyrese is an amazing scorer. He needs to get better at playmaking, and then he's going to be unstoppable. And he worked out a lot with Joel this offseason, which is really where the playmaking starts here in Philly, right? If you can feed the beast, if you can feed the big man, then everything else is going to get easier and fall into place. And again, have only known him now going on 3 years, but if anybody is up to the challenge and loves constructive criticism and wants to lean into that and get better, it's Tyrese Maxey. And I think we all forget, like, he started off last season really well and then got injured and missed over a month of the season. And I don't know how good he might have been had that not happened. So yeah, really excited and expecting him to take another step this year.
Well, you mentioned Joel, the big guy in the middle. He finally got that MVP award last year, but unfortunately it didn't bring any playoff success with it. Yet another second round exit for the team. Is there something Embiid can maybe do better in terms of leadership to help get the Sixers deeper into the playoffs?
Yeah, I think there always is. I think when you're a leader and you don't get to where you want to go, which for the Sixers is at least the Final Four, right? The Eastern Conference Finals, and then hopefully into the finals and winning that championship. I think there's always more that you can do. And I think Joel is figuring that out because I think something that maybe we don't talk about enough in all sports is that guys can be phenomenal athletes, just top tier talents. But leadership is a different thing entirely, and it doesn't come as naturally to some players and athletes as it does others. So I think Joel is still learning exactly what it means to be not just a leader through his play, but through his actions and his words. And I saw growth in that area last year, so I'm expecting more of it this season.
Well, since the season ended, Tobias Harris did not get traded. He'll be back.
Correct.
Paul Reed got paid. He'll be back. And the Sixers also acquired guard Patrick Beverly, center Mo Bamba. Danny Green is back for a second stint.
Yeah.
And more recently, Kelly Oubre signed a one-year deal. Some pretty decent depth, I would think. Do you agree?
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think that's one of the things. I'm one of the people who loves to be the hunter and not the hunted. So I love the fact that nobody is talking about the Kelly Oubre Jr. signing right now. Everybody, understandably, is talking about the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics and the moves they just made. But I'm with you. I mean, at Media Day last week and ripping through my lineup right now, getting ready for the home preseason opener and being at practice today, I was thinking to myself, they picked up a lot of good dudes. Like, I've always hated Patrick Beverly on other teams because, right, he's that gnat. He's that just annoying defensive presence who you're pissed off at, but he's doing everything legally. He's just playing his butt off, and you're just pissed that he's getting in your grill and stopping one of your star players from doing something. There was a fun moment earlier today when DeAnthony Melton and Danny Green were going at it. It's easy to forget DeAnthony came here because of that draft day trade that sent Danny to Memphis because he wasn't going to play last year. So it's fun to see those two guys going at it. You mentioned Mo Bamba. He had one of his best nights ever as a pro here in Philly a couple of years ago. So he's one of those guys kind of looking for a fresh start. Have really loved his attitude. So there's a lot of interesting pieces that nobody's talking about right now. I get it. They're not the huge splashes that a couple other teams have made. But again, it's all about how these guys fit together, how they stay healthy, and crazier things have happened, right? So I'm excited to see how these guys over the next number of months, I know it's not going to be easy at the start, but how they over the next number of months fit those puzzle pieces together.
Well, another new piece is the head coach, Nick Nurse. Yeah. What do you know about Nick Nurse as far as how he's going to be in control of this 76ers squad?
Yeah, well, again, just first practice today, but the energy and the movement just during practice was quite different than it has been the past couple of years. Really upbeat, really energetic, a DJ throughout practice, playing specific things at specific times, sound effects when they were going 5-on-5, running up the floor, depending on what happened, whether it was a deflection, whether it was an offensive rebound. So really high energy and just go, go, go the whole time through practice. Really lets his assistants help out with things, but then when he needs to, blows the whistle and he's in charge. And I read he wrote a book a couple years ago after, unfortunately, Toronto did what they did. And I read it.
I like that.
Yeah. And I'm reading it again, but I mean, he had to work his ass off to get here, right? I mean, he played at a small college. He did not have anybody in the industry who was going to give him a leg up. He coached in the British Basketball League for 20 plus years. He had to grind to get here. So he has seen everything. He got a PhD in sports psychology a couple of years ago because he realized this game is a lot different than when I was playing. And really have to understand the mental side of this, because these guys are so different. You can't just scream and yell at guys and throw basketballs at them anymore, right? It's 2023. That doesn't work. So I'm really excited. And he was the one I was hoping the Sixers would hire, because out of all the coaches that were being considered, he frustrated Joel Embiid the most. Yeah. So anytime you have somebody getting in your star player's head, I want that guy to be on our team, right? Kind of the same thing with Patrick Beverley. So I'm really excited. He seems really down to earth, but very detail oriented, very focused, and obviously very set on winning.
Cool. Well, Kate, some people take it easy during the summer, vacations, backyard pool, whatever.
What's that? What's easy?
Not you.
Nope.
You took on a couple of new short-term jobs.
Yeah.
Women's World Cup games, you called those, and Seattle Seahawks preseason football, to wit, right here.
Greer firing, intercepted at the goal line. Trey Brown bringing it out for Seattle. What a play by number 22.
And yes, I intentionally picked something bad happening in the Dallas Cowboys.
Which I love. I mean, I think I might have told you when we chatted last year, but I grew up hating the Cowboys, and I love that I have landed in another place that hates the Cowboys. So it's felt really natural.
So how was it, though? You went from Women's World Cup in July and the beginning of August right into Seattle Seahawks preseason football. Yeah. I believe you worked with Mark Schlereth. Is that right?
Worked with Mark Schlereth on our last game and it was weird for me calling him that, but that's what everybody was like, Stink, walking into Lambeau with him was so much fun, because folks were so excited to see him, because obviously he's been in NFL circles for years as a player and now a great analyst. But yeah, that was our last game at Lambeau. And then Michael Robinson and Michael Bennett, who were a couple of their stars when they won the Super Bowl a decade ago. And Michael Robb now doing some Big Ten stuff for NBC Sports. So I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of him, the Penn State star. But it was amazing and wonderful. I mean, those were both, especially the Women's World Cup. Soccer was the sport I played growing up. I was behind the Rose Bowl net where Brandi Chastain scored the PK to win the World Cup back in 1999. So that was a dream come true. And I love calling football, and preseason is a great way to get your toe back in that doesn't conflict with the Sixers. And, the Seahawks are a team I grew up hating too, but when it's a job offer and a paycheck and a chance to continue growing as a broadcaster, you say, heck yeah, and dive in. And they're another great organization who welcomes me with open arms. And as we were talking about last year, I get bored really easily. And I think calling all the different sports just makes you think about a sport like basketball slightly different and helps with your calls. I think they all inform each other. So I think it was maybe in retrospect, should have taken a few more days at the pool, as you said, but I think it was really helpful off season. And as a result, I'm looking to take another big step this year in my Sixers calls when things tip off very soon.
All right, let's finish up with a little game of 3 and out. 3 questions, 3 very quick answers. Do you still use those blue sticky notes in your preparation for Sixers game?
I do. And I love that that's a great freeze frame that you got there, Chet. And I do still use my colored pens. And I know that Kevin Harlan and some other guys use the pen that has the 4 different colors at the top. But you can tell we're playing the Celtics because I got my green pen out. So that's just how my brain has always seen things, by color. And it helps me remember something that much faster.
Very nice. Number 2, when Cleveland Cavaliers' George Niang makes a big shot against the Sixers, how will you call it?
Yes, I have already discussed this with Ala. We think there will be one bang bang George Niang, and then it will be followed by, now please don't do that again, G, until you get to your next game. But all of us are so happy for him. I mean, no doubt that his time here in Philly helped him get that contract, and I love it when good guys get paid. And I think he's going to be a great fit in Cleveland. So looking forward to one bang bang, and that's it.
All right. And lastly, I saw the NBC 10 piece about 6 weeks ago, Clear the Shelters, story that featured you and your rescued pit bull. So I have to ask you, how is Piper doing?
Oh, Piper is great. She is currently locked upstairs so she doesn't bark or interrupt this interview. But she is wonderful. She is the one thing that gets me outside and off my butt and to stop prepping because I could prep for 14 hours a day. I care so much about what I do and love it so much. I could be watching film and working on boards and stuff. I mean, I have all my notes right around here right now. Sixers training camp things. She has been, a lot of people say that pets, they impact your life sometimes more than you impact theirs. And I think that's totally true. She's been a great respite from the intensity of the basketball season. And she's looking forward to a great Sixers season too.
We all are. Can't wait to hear you back calling the games with Alla. It's going to be a fun year, interesting year, certainly. Mm-hmm. Follow her on what used to be Twitter. It's X now, Kate T. Scott. Kate, great to see you again.
Great to see you, Chet. Thanks for the time. Go Sixers.
That was fantastic. That was fantastic.
I love Kate Scott. She is just so nice, so easy to talk to. I mean, she talks to me like I'm somebody important, like it's CBS or ESPN or something.
So somebody that she's known forever.
Yeah,
actually, I mean that's how it comes across.
I'm like just some little guy who's hosting a podcast with you.
Yeah, right. What we know that doesn't go very far. Hey, really good though, really good, and so many good points that she mentioned. Of course, the Joel Embiid growth as a leader. That whole segment there was very interesting because, of course, I'm the one that always beats up on that.
I had you in mind when I asked her.
Yeah, and I was actually a little surprised with her answer that I am not the only one that sees that. Apparently, very good. She was terrific.
After all these second round exits, I mean, somebody's got to do a better job leading.
Yeah. Yep, and I'm going to throw these up there because they need to be up there. Robbie says she's terrific, no doubt. Joe, most infectious smile, absolutely. I already put the one up from Brian. Outstanding. Very good for Kate. Looking forward to her having a great season. And great clip, by the way, that you pulled down on the Seahawks interception. That was good, too.
Hey, speaking of Joe Howe, he's been a friend of ours, on Facebook for the last few years, and he kind of disappeared for a while. So great to have you back with us, Joe, watching us and talking sports and all your wacky jokes on Facebook. Good to have you back, Joe.
Yeah, and you know what, Chet? Nobody has called me that since Joe did.
There you go.
I don't know why, but I don't even know why I got that tonight, but I'll go with it. All right, hey, it's prediction time. Let's get to it, Chet, before
Okay, I predict I will need a new supply of Tums after the next two Phillies-Braves games. There's my prediction.
Well, there you go. And 5 o'clock tomorrow, 6 o'clock on Thursday. So I'm not sure why the 5 o'clock fits in there, but that's what we got. All right, prediction time. Let's get to this week's, or before we get to this week's picks, how did we do? I think Boop picked up a game on both of us. Boop, that's Bob Patron. Birthday boy junior today.
Speaking of which, happy birthday to the Boopster. He doesn't look bad for 75. No, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't look a day over 75. Right, yeah.
We love Boop. Everybody loves Boop.
That's
happy birthday,
right.
Boop.
Well, how are we doing through week 5? And then how are we doing with our margin of victory pool?
All right, I'm going to give you the margin of victory update first this week, and it's going to be pretty easy because we all picked the Dolphins last weekend to beat the Giants, and we know that worked out pretty well. So that was worth 15 points for all of us. So the standings right now through 5 weeks of the NFL season, I'm still at the top of the heap, 97 points. Bill, you're still in second with 65. You're also 5-0. Boop, with those 2 early losses, is 3-2 and has just 44 points. So Boop's got some work to do.
Yeah. So do the rest of us.
You know what, Bill? I just realized something. I didn't make my pick yet for the margin of victory. It was going to be the Bills, but I already picked the Bills. So
I actually just picked mine while the Kate interview was on. I had forgotten about it as well.
Oops.
Well, let's get to our other picks. Straight NFC East this week because nobody's playing each other. So we have the Commanders are going to visit the Falcons. Falcons minus 2.5. The struggling Giants visit the Bills, as you mentioned. The Bills minus 14. Monday Night Football, Dallas, man, did they get a beat down from the 49ers. They visit the Chargers, and Dallas still favored in that game by 2.5. And then the Eagles visit the Jets Sunday afternoon, 4 o'clock game. Eagles minus 6.5. Who you got?
Well, let's see. I got
Commanders, Falcons.
I got the Boop notes. And again, haven't looked at these. Boop says Washington has allowed 33, 37, 34, and 40 points the last 4 weeks. Ouch. Boop picks Atlanta. I'm also picking Atlanta. I think the Commanders are going to go downhill from here.
Yeah, me too. Atlanta, I'm not sure Atlanta's very good either, but I didn't know those exact numbers from Boop, but I knew that the Commanders been giving up lots and lots of points.
Yep.
All right. Giants, they stinking. They play in Buffalo, the Bills -14.
Boop says this will be New York's 4th road game in 5 weeks. Wow. Guess they had to clear out of town for the baseball team's postseason runs. Boop making a joke. I like that.
Nice job, Boop.
Yes. Boop takes the Bills. I take the Bills too. I was going to take them for the margin of victory pool, but I can't. I'll get back to you on that. But yeah, I'm taking the Bills.
All right, Monday Night Football. I'm taking the Bills too.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football, Dallas visits the Chargers. Dallas -2.5.
Boop says Dallas is not pleased with the state of California right now. Someone will have to pay. Oh, he's taking the Cowboys. I'm taking the Cowboys as well. Even though they played god-awful against San Francisco, I think they can beat the Chargers.
You know, this is one of those tough ones because I took Dallas last week because I thought they would play well and they just stunk it up. And I'm just trying to get in my head if they're as bad as they're looking or they're going to bounce around. I'm going to take the Chargers. What the heck?
Wow. All right.
Eagles, Jets.
All right. Let's see what Boop has to say about that one. I have to look at the schedule to get my margin of victory pool pick still. So I will get that fired up
homework, pal.
Right here. I know. I just totally forgot. All right. Boop says regarding the Eagles Jets, New York couldn't win this one, even with the return of Rodgers and Hammerstein. Wow. Boop is on fire tonight. Way to go.
Yeah,
Boop.
that's right. It's his birthday.
He's getting older and wiser.
Do I hear a sound of music?
Maybe. Yeah. Boop takes the Eagles. I take the Eagles. I think they're even going to cover that 6.5 too.
Oh, they're going to cover. They're going to cover that 6.5 easily.
Okay.
All right. Margin of victory pool.
Bill, talk for 30 seconds. I'm going to pick a game right here.
Well, go ahead and throw Boop's pick up. We'll let you go last.
Oh, Boop takes the Bills, of course. So that's who I was going to take. I'm going to put this up again so I'm not repeating myself. I took Washington, Buffalo, Kansas City, San Francisco, and Miami. So I need a pick for this week. Let's look at the games.
I'm going to go ahead and go. And I was going to take the Bills, but just because Boop already took them, I'm not going to. I'm going to take the Raiders. The Raiders against the stinking Patriots. They're horrible. And unless Bill Belichick comes up with Tom Brady or some other miracle by Sunday, the Raiders at home are going to spank the New England Patriots.
Mm-hmm. All right. You're taking the Raiders. Well, I just figured out mine, Bill. I'm going to take that other team from out west, the LA Rams. So I'm taking the Rams. You're taking the Raiders, correct?
Yep.
The Rams, by the way, are hosting Arizona.
Yeah, you're going to lose. All right. There we go. Hey, great guests tonight at Bob Hound, Kelly, and Kate Scott. Who is coming to Philly Press Box Radio next week? We'll have all the sports going on.
Well, yeah, and I don't know yet. I have one person who is a Phillies related person, but because we don't know what's going to happen with the Phillies, it looks like even if they do advance, Wednesday will be an off day, but I will firm it up with this person later this week. So we will have somebody talking Phillies next week, but it's not finalized yet. So I don't know.
Okay. We can live with that.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about right quick while we have about 30 seconds? It's Jackson Brown's birthday. I know you would put that out there.
Yeah, and speaking of music, I did see Billy Joel and Stevie Nicks last Saturday, and I'll tell you, for guys who are 74 and 75, they both sounded great. I was really impressed with both of them, and it was a chilly night down in Baltimore, but Billy Joel joked about it. He said, a little tough to play the piano sometimes because his fingers were getting numb, but yeah, he sounded great. Stevie Nicks sounded great also, so really enjoyed that one. What else? Oh, Dick Butkus left us, Bill. 80 years old, Dick Butkus is Gone.
We could have done a whole show on him. He's one of my guys, man.
Yeah. So, man, we lost one of the best offensively this year in Jim Brown, and now one of the best defensively in Dick Butkus.
Yep. Not good. Anything else? We're going to wrap it.
I think we got a correction. Wow, I didn't realize it was that late. One correction, I think the Flyers alumni weekend is actually January 28th and 29th, which will include the Flyers Bruins Hall of Fame game. So there you go. Wrap it up, Bill. I'm hungry.
All right. Let's thank tonight's special guest, Bob the Hound Kelly and Kate Scott. Our sponsors, the Irish Rover Station House, Cavs Philly Tailgates, PPCC 118 Raz Room, and David Boy of Allstate Insurance in Westchester, PA. For Jim Chet Chesko, this is Bill Furman. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll join Philly Press Box Radio next Wednesday, Red October 18th at 7 p.m. You see us live on Facebook, listen to our website, phillypressboxradio.com, on Google Podcasts, as well as Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and all the others. High hopes, Philadelphia sports fans. We're going to just say, let's go, everybody.
Happy trails to you till we meet again.